Hey everybody, Edo here, and the good folks at Mayday Games send me H.I.D.E, H.I.D.E, Hidden Identity Dice Espionage. Now, I end up reviewing a lot of games by Mayday Games because they send them to me, and I actually, by and large, dig most of their stuff. Sometimes I don't, and this is another time that's the case. I have very little positive to say about this game. I didn't like it at all. This kind of game you start playing, you're like, why am I playing this game? It started out sort of like, you look at it and you're like, all right, you big box for a dice game, but you open it up and then they've got your building components and you're like creating these, and these are super cool. They're like, at first you're like, how do they go together? And then they're these the component quality is solid. That's something nice, and I'm struggling to put it back together. And it starts neat. Perhaps you are spies, and you're going to one of these locations, and you're sort of hiding and picking where you have some dice, and you're going to pick where you want to go and where you're planning on going, and you put a die behind your little shield here, and that's hidden information. And then there's money, but in particular, each of these you play a card. That's where the value of winning that spot effectively. Everyone has a gadget, which acts as like an extra symbol for your card, so they don't really do anything actually other than just being worth something. And then effectively, what you're trying to do in this game is it's like a mix of Mastermind, where you're taking dice and you're deciding what you roll some dice. You pull out one plus the number of players, you roll them, and then you have some available, and you're going to pick one, and you can decide to put it here, which is sort of in reserve, or you can put it up on top. If you put it up on top, you can guess or try to shoot one of the other players. But the trick is, if you put it on top, it must be either the same symbol or the same color as the die underneath. So it becomes this little hidden information game where you're like, well, I now know it's submarine, but I don't know what color, because it could be one of these colors, but it could be some other color. So you're trying to figure out who the player is, because basically if you shoot them, you get all their stuff, or most of their stuff. And that's the best way to go. Otherwise, you're just going to look at your dice at the end and see who wins on the different locations you're going to. So you can sort of say, they're probably going there, I'm going to try to shoot them, because if they don't, the idea of having a Mastermind hidden information game where you're revealing and shooting another player, I think is a concept that might work. Here, it's slow, sort of prodding and boring, and it was just a big pass. Just a pass for me. So, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Most importantly, play some great games. Thanks.